Hello everybody, it's me, Big Daddy Brian, and my best friends in 7th grade, Sebastian, and my baby mama with all the drama is not here. It's just me doing this episode solo, dolo. And I'm here to talk about something pretty sad and pretty depressing. The official Dragon Ball Twitter account announced that Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, passed away from a subdural hematoma at the age of 68. There's been a lot of celebrity deaths over the years, and this one just hit pretty hard. I remember I was scrolling through Twitter and I just saw this random post saying that the creator of Dragon Ball passed away. And at first I thought it was just a joke because, a lot of people just post a lot of misinformation out there. But this one, I looked into it and I saw that it was real and I just couldn't believe it. I was hoping it was fake because Toriyama's work has had a lot of impact on me. I remember growing up and seeing Dragon Ball movie VHS tapes all around my house. I remember watching Cartoon Network and seeing it transition into Tooname and seeing Dragon Ball episodes on there. I just remember any chance I got, I would always watch it. I remember it was on Nicktoons for a while. I remember it was on some Saturday morning cartoon blogs. And I just loved watching Goku, Gohan, and all the Z Warriors. One of my favorite memories about Dragon Ball that I always bring up is that when I was like 9, 10, around that age, one of my friends came up to me at the playground and he was like, "Brian, do you want to see some boobs?" And of course, at that age, I really didn't know what he was talking about, but I was kind of like, I don't want to look lame. Yeah, let's see some boobs. And if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you probably already know what part of the anime or manga I'm talking about. So my boy pulled out the Dragon Ball manga and was flipping through the pages until he got to this one part. He was showing me this bald guy named Krillin pulling down Bulma's top and showing some boobs. And as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old boy, I really didn't know how I was supposed to react. So I was just like, oh yeah, man, that's badass. I can't believe you found that. And if you don't remember how that happened, I'll tell you real quick. In the OG Dragon Ball, Yamcha was getting his ass beat by the Invisible Man because he was invisible. And Krillin thought of this brilliant idea to pull down Bulma's top in front of Master Roshi, so that Master Roshi has a nosebleed and all that blood lands on Invisible Man. And now that Yamcha can see him, he could beat him. I remember one time I was watching Dragon Ball and one of my uncles came in and he was like, "What? You guys have Dragon Ball out here?" And to me, I was kind of shook because he was from Mexico and I just didn't think they watched anime over there for some reason. And that's when he told me that over there, they always show Dragon Ball all the time. And that's when I found out, like, in Mexico, Dragon Ball is really popular. I mean, if you're on Twitter right now, you probably have already seen some tweets out there making jokes about how Mexicans are really depressed about Toriyama's passing. I remember growing up and also playing the Dragon Ball games. I really don't remember what specific games I played. I just remember I would play it on my Game Boy. And I remember I would play those fighting games on my PlayStation or GameCube, one of those. And someone's probably going to listen to this and hear the GameCube part and they're going to be like, there was never a Dragon Ball game for GameCube. I'm just saying what I remember from the top of my head, guys. I'm sorry. It's crazy how big of an impact Dragon Ball has had on popular anime and manga that we see now. When you watch an anime now, you expect them to have a cool transformation like Super Saiyan. I remember growing up and always watching the YouTube clips of Goku turning into Super Saiyan, but the transformation that had a big impact on me was Gohan. Throughout the anime, manga, we see Gohan have this hidden potential throughout the series. In Namek, we legit see Gohan put some damage on Frieza that has never been done before by anyone. And then in the Cell Saga, we finally get to see Gohan's hidden potential finally come into fruition with Super Saiyan 2. I remember growing up and always watching Gohan turning into Super Saiyan 2 on YouTube. I remember seeing the clips where he would just destroy the Cell Juniors. And I remember I was just so hyped up that I was like, oh, Gohan's going to be the next Goku. He's going to take over the mantle. He's going to be the next hero of the earth. But that didn't happen. I don't blame you, Toriyama. I know there was a lot of pressure on you to have Goku be the hero of the manga. But I'm still a little sad about how you murdered my boy Gohan. Like anytime I watch Dragon Ball Super or like these Dragon Ball movies, the new ones, I'm just like, why does Gohan have to be such a nerd? I want him to be a badass like he was in the Cell Saga or even the Buu Saga. Come on, Toriyama, why you gotta do me like this? I remember in high school, like, anime wasn't really popular to talk about in school, but when Dragon Ball Super came out, everyone was hyped up to watch the new episodes that came out every week. I remember it felt like an event watching the Tournament of Power go down. Like, everyone was watching an episode every week of that arc. It really feels like Dragon Ball changed the game. I really feel like when that came out, everyone was just like into anime. Everyone was talking about different anime and it just made everything more popular. What's crazy about Toriyama is that he didn't just create Dragon Ball, he also did some artwork for the game Dragon Quest. And it's a pretty popular game. I would always see it at the stores and I'd be like, why does that look like Goku? Why does that look like Gohan? Why does that look like Trunks? Why does that person look like Android 16, 17, one of those? I was just like, why do they look so similar? And when I Googled it, a lot of people were saying that Toriyama did the artwork, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense now. Since Toriyama's passing, a lot of people have been posting like their favorite things about Dragon Ball. And one of my favorites is that the short King Krillin got to marry Android 17. And everybody's just like, Toriyama's a legend just for doing that. And then an aspect of Dragon Ball that I totally forgot about was how cool the characters dressed. I mean, you don't need to look any further than looking at Trunks. When the future Trunks showed up, everybody was like, this guy looks badass, his sword in the back, his purple jacket, he just looked cool. Another character that looked badass was Teen Gohan in the Cell games. I remember I was like, wow, he is really pulling off that Piccolo outfit. Dragon Ball has had such a big impact on people that sometimes when I would watch my cartoons growing up, I would see little references to Dragon Ball. One of the ones I remember seeing was in the Amazing World of Gumball, where Gumball, the amazing character, randomly turns into Super Saiyan. And I was like that one meme with Leonardo DiCaprio where he's like pointing at the TV and I just screamed out, I get that reference. Before I end this video, I do want to talk about my top 5 characters in Dragon Ball. And if you can tell from this video, my number 1 has to be Gohan. I just always thought it was badass how he had this hidden potential that would only show up sometimes when he was mad. And then we finally got to see that potential in Super Saiyan 2. But after the Cell Saga, it kind of goes downhill with his character, but I still had that soft spot for his character. My second favorite character has to be Piccolo. He might not be the strongest person in this whole list, but I've always just liked how he took everything so serious and how he basically turned into grandpa for Gohan's kids. My third favorite has to be Vegeta just because, again, he took everything serious, like more serious than Piccolo, and was just so mad that Goku was always stronger than him that he would do anything to just be as strong as Goku. My fourth favorite character has to be Goku. I always just liked his carefree attitude and how he just wants to keep fighting. I have to give the 5th spot to Future Trunks. Just because he pulled up, turned Super Saiyan with his cool clothes, and just could have Frieza like nothing. When in the previous arc, we saw that Goku was struggling to even beat Frieza. And this man just comes out of nowhere and just cuts him up like nothing. But I think that's it for me, guys. I just really want to talk about Toriyama and how big of an impact he's had on me. And like a famous One Piece character said, do you know when a man dies? He dies when he's forgotten. And I don't think Toriyama's impact will ever be forgotten on the anime and manga industry. Remember, guys, if you want to listen to this as just audio, you can go to my podcast, Dream Ghost, a One Piece Lover. It's available on any app that you listen to podcasts on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and whatever else. If you like this video, leave a like. If you want to comment down below, please talk about your favorite Dragon Ball moment. Talk about how big of an impact Toriyama has had on your life, or whatever you want to talk about. But shout out to you guys. I really appreciate you. Bye.